Hello and welcome everyone to Stacks Accelerator Demo Day. My name is Trevor Owens, I'm the managing partner, and I couldn't be happier to welcome you all to day 2 of 2 NFTs and Web 3.0. So for today's agenda, we're going to start with a quick intro to Stacks Accelerator. Then we have some guest speakers who we're excited to have joined us. And then we're going to go into pitches from our exciting portfolio companies. We'll end today with breakout rooms to give you all a chance to connect one-on-one with any of the companies that you found interesting. And so if you'd like to schedule follow-up meetings with any of our companies, you can go to this link, bit.ly/meet-startups, to schedule a one-on-one follow-up meeting. And I recommend doing that ASAP as it's filling up. And if you're on Twitter, please tweet with the hashtag StacksDemoDay. So the purpose of Stacks Accelerator is to build the best community for founders, mentors, and investors in Web 3.0. We do this by bringing together great people, solving real problems for customers, and building great technology. It just so happens that Stacks is the platform that best helps us to achieve our goals. And so Stacks is a decentralized ecosystem with a mission to build a user-owned internet where you have true ownership of your identity, data, and wealth. And Stacks 2.0 just launched at the beginning of this year. And as you can see from this slide, it's already growing exponentially. And this is because the technology Stacks enables smart contracts on top of Bitcoin, which until now has been very difficult and very time consuming to create any kind of advanced smart contracts on Bitcoin. But in my opinion, Stacks is the first mature platform that gives a developer friendly and easy experience for creating any kind of advanced decentralized apps on top of Bitcoin. And so the way it works is that Stacks interoperates with Bitcoin and uses Bitcoin as a settlement layer. So Bitcoin is the oldest, most stable, most decentralized, leaderless, most valuable, rock solid blockchain. And it has very high security. It's a global store of value with over $1 trillion market cap, but it has low scalability. And so this is where Stacks comes in through its innovative proof of transfer mechanism. It offers high security, high scalability, smart contracts, decentralized storage, and decentralized ID on top of Bitcoin, allowing entrepreneurs, startups, any kind of project to build DeFi, NFTs, prediction markets, highly scalable Web 3.0 apps on top of Bitcoin. And as you'll see from today, all of our startups are doing this. So every block on the Stacks blockchain is actually recorded in a block on the Bitcoin blockchain. Essentially, Bitcoin is recording the history of the Stacks blockchain. This gives Stacks unique security advantages. In addition, Stacks reads the state of Bitcoin, sees transactions, and can react to them, triggering smart contracts. This is a superpower which until now hasn't been available in a way that is very easy and almost native for developers to use. And so a lot of people ask me, well, isn't building on Bitcoin expensive? Isn't it slow? What about the gas fees? And this is the exact problem that Stacks has been designed to solve, because the cost of transactions on Bitcoin is based on the cost per byte of what you're storing. And so with Stacks and something called Stacks app chains, millions of smart contracts can be represented in a single hash on Bitcoin, making the transaction costs for smart contracts very insignificant. In fact, the transaction costs right now on Stacks are 0.1 penny. And so in addition, Stacks is something called microblocks, which offers confirmations of transactions in just a few seconds, which I consider all things around Stacks holistically to be an amazing sweet spot for developers when it comes to cost, security, scalability, and transaction speed. And so to understand proof of transfer a little bit better, let's look at some of the other consensus mechanisms in the industry. We all know proof of work, which is used by Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is extremely decentralized. However, it doesn't offer the scalability and energy efficiency that we have come to expect from the apps that we use every day. This is the reason why a lot of other blockchains have been switching to a new model called proof of stake, which offers significantly more scalability and energy efficiency. However, many people in the industry believe that proof of stake traded too much in decentralization and sacrifices security. Some people may actually have the opinion that it might not even be a viable model. So what I was really impressed to learn about Stacks 2.0 before it launched beginning of this year with proof of transfer, as I started digging into it, is that the developers, I feel, made an amazing set of trade-offs by interoperating with Bitcoin and inheriting the security from proof of work. they were able to create a system that not only offers scalability and energy efficiency, but also decentralization and security. And this is why so many of the startups in our program have decided to build their future businesses on Stacks, even in the first year of its introduction. And so if that was enough of a sales pitch for Stacks, there's one more thing I want to mention. The whole point of blockchain is to offer a trustless ledger where we can be assured that a neutral third party is going to be executing our transactions. But what about when it comes to the apps that our users are going to use every single day? What about the relationship between the developers and the apps? Well, it comes to the question, would you sign a smart contract that you couldn't read? Probably not. So why is it that so many of the smart contracts on the blockchains that we use today have their code compiled and rely on the developer to upload the source code in order for us to access and see what the contracts are that we're signing up for? Well, the developers of Stacks had the foresight to work with the Algorand Foundation to develop a new programming language where every smart contract is interpreted on the blockchain, meaning 100% of the source code is available for end users. Not only this, but they did not allow Turing completeness, meaning that there's no loops in this programming language, which means smart contracts will never run into infinite loops. And so when we look at Solidity, there was a recent study that showed, it was actually a few years ago, so maybe it's improved by now, but in this study, 1% of smart contracts on Ethereum had source code uploaded to Etherscan, meaning up to 99% of smart contracts require users to trust the developers. In addition, as I mentioned, it's Turing complete, which means it's not decidable, meaning contracts can lead to infinite loops. And so if you wrote a smart contract that calls another smart contract on a different platform, you as the developer cannot control if there's a bug in that code or it's going to lead to an infinite loop. The output cannot be reliably verified. And so all these problems have been solved with Stacks. 100% of the source code is available on the blockchain. It's truly trustless and it's decidable. So we can know ahead of time that every smart contract has an output that we can verify. And so Stacks was built by an amazing team. They've been in this industry for a long time. There's 6 distributed systems PhDs on the team who have had a lot of foresight in the industry. They've been able to build a system by making the right trade-offs. And I was actually an early advisor to the original founders in 2013. And I've seen them over the almost past decade, making incredible judgments and predicting the right moves to make in the industry. So if you'd like to learn more about Stacks, you can read a more detailed analysis that I wrote. The link is bit.ly/stacksanalysis. I go through extensively the different business cases for building startups on top of Stacks. And so let's talk about the accelerator now. So I want you to imagine for a second that you could teleport back in time and invest in all of the most successful and early startups building on one of today's top smart contract platforms. How valuable would that be? Well, if you believe in the unique advantages of Stacks, then you have that opportunity right now with our first cohort that you're about to see. And so we are a $6 million fund. And the unique thing about our fund is that we have an 80% recycling policy. So what that means is that our LPs have been very generous to set up a fund where 80% of our profits go back into making more investments in more companies. And so the point of this is that we're here for the long haul, and we expect to be able to make hundreds of investments in startups over the coming years, building on Stacks. And we actually offer an incredible deal to these founders. We invest up to 50K without any valuation cap. And a lot of VCs think we're crazy for doing this, leaving money on the table. But we did this intentionally because we want to attract the best founders. We didn't want to have any founders reject our offer because of the deal terms. And we also wanted to leave some extra room for the best investors. So we did this intentionally to build an incredible community with the best founders and bring in the best investors by giving you all a great deal. We also offer all of our founders up to 100K in non-equity grant funding for building open source on the Stacks platform. So we offer a lot to attract great founders. And so the way the Stacks Accelerator works, we focus on team building, validation, traction, and funding. We have an extensive 3-month program that covers a product development camp, pitching and fundraising camp, and now we're at the capstone with our demo day. And so these teams have gone through a lot of effort, lean startup training, Stacks tech support, branding and marketing strategy, product and UX feedback. They've had meetings with our network of over 100 mentors, and we support them with PR from the community. And so we've been meeting with these founders every single day. And what we've been doing is we've been working with them intensively to de-risk their businesses and get them ready for growth. so that by the demo day now, all of these companies are ready to grow so that the capital that you're investing is going to be spent on that growth and increasing the valuation of the company. So these are some of the things that we do to help de-risk the companies. Like I said, we offer them tech support, we connect them to code auditing, we help them recruit skilled technical talent, we help them validate and attract customers. We make sure to identify the key use cases for blockchain in their apps, what should be on the blockchain, what shouldn't be on the block, what should and shouldn't be on the blockchain. And we also introduce them to many smart money investors like yourselves. And so our investment thesis can be summarized in a single sentence, and that is that we invest in teams who can find an easy way to do something difficult. We're not looking for teams who want to choose a difficult way to do something difficult. We look for those teams who have the intellectual and strategic flexibility and the ambition, but they find an easy way to accomplish great things. And so what that means is we look for skilled technical teams with a proven track record who are committed full-time. We look at their cap tables. We do a lot of due diligence. We look for those practical plans. They need to be moving fast from day one. And we also take a special interest in underrepresented founders and people who are already building in our ecosystem that are vetted and supported by our community. And it's great that we have that community as a mechanism to help us unearth the best talent. And so the teams that we choose, they're focused on big problems and pains, and their team is uniquely suited to solve those problems and pains. We also look for differentiated solutions and projects that can leverage the unique features of Stacks, because there's some very unique things about Stacks that can't be done in other blockchains. So we look for teams where they're coming in from day one, they're doing something unique, whereas if someone is building a competitor on another blockchain, they're not going to be able to compete because of some of the unique features of Stacks that enable better functionality in our portfolio companies. We also look for high stakes use cases because of the unique security advantages from Stacks in working with Bitcoin. And so if you'd like to learn more about our investment thesis, I wrote another detailed blog post, very long, explaining all the things we look for, how we think about what makes founding teams successful. You can see that at bit.ly/stacks-ac thesis. And so I'm very fortunate to be joined by an incredible team here at Stacks Accelerator. We have Andrea Zaragoza Ballesteros as our program director, Victoria Zhang as our venture associate, Kyle Ellicott as a partner and managing director, myself, Jan Smechkol, our entrepreneur residents, and Grace Singh and Alex Novosad, our venture partners. And so with that, we're going to welcome Brittany Laughlin, the executive director of the Stacks Foundation, and Meltem Demirors, CSO at CoinShares. So Brittany and Meltem, please unmute yourselves, come on up and take it over.
Good morning or evening, wherever you are. I'm Brittany Laughlin. I'm the executive director at the Stacks Foundation. We're huge supporters of the Accelerator here. As Trevor mentioned, the foundation is also another path to find funding to build in the Stacks ecosystem, because our mission is really to support this user-owned internet that was just covered. And we do that through grants. We have millions of Stacks that we're funding grants. We do education, and we also help support governance of the Stacks blockchain. So if you're interested in any of those topics, issues, we'd love to get in touch at stacks.org. But today I'm really excited because I think this group of companies we've seen grow through the Accelerator has done a really impressive job of building towards this mission of, what's possible in Web3, what's possible with Stacks, because it has all these unique traits that Trevor mentioned. So today I'm excited to welcome Meltem Demirors. She's an incredible voice in the industry. She's a member of the Stacks Foundation board, and I think she's the #1 cheerleader for everything Bitcoin. So welcome, Meltem.
Thanks, Brittany. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Amazing. I'm really excited to be here. As Brittany mentioned, I've been involved in the Stacks ecosystem before it was actually Stacks. So I've known the Blockstack team for many years and have been really excited about what they've built. Obviously, Munib and the engineering team had this incredible vision from as early as 2014 to really bring extensibility and new functionality to Bitcoin. And I think with the release of Clarity, and as we've seen through this first batch of companies that are going through the accelerator, we're really like still at such early stages of seeing what is possible with stacks. And so I'm really excited to be here. Brittany and I had a little chat yesterday about what we'd like to share with you, what we'd like to talk about. And so I think we're going to focus a little bit on what's happening with NFTs, creative content, and intellectual property more generally, and how that's relevant to stacks. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's happening more broadly across the crypto ecosystem and the directions in which Stack is growing, which I'm really excited about. And I will say at CoinShares, my firm, we have just made our first investment in a company building on Stacks. I'm really excited to share that when that news becomes public, but we are actively starting to deploy capital into the Stacks ecosystem, and we'll be doing much more with Stacks going forward. So that's been a really exciting milestone for us as a firm and for me as an investor.
Awesome. That's always great news. Love to have you more involved, and I'm sure you'll get some pitches from these portfolio companies too very soon. So, you know, we do want to talk about NFTs today, but maybe you could kind of give like a brief overview of like where are we today with that? I mean, there's been so much that's happened in the past week, in the past month, in the past year, but let's just sort of focus like where is the industry today, and what is all the excitement about around this sort of Web3 NFTs?
Absolutely. And Louisa, sadly, I'm not flexing my rock today. I need to get myself a Stacks punk to flex. I'm working on it. So just briefly zooming out, right? If we look at what's happening just with crypto more broadly, we started this year with crypto assets as a whole under a $1 trillion market cap. Today, crypto is about a $2.5 trillion asset class, consisting of over 100 unique blockchain protocols, layer 2s, tokens that have over a $1 billion market cap. So there's been an exponential amount of growth. And what's been really interesting to see this year, I think historically, everything in the crypto ecosystem has really had a beta of 1 to Bitcoin, meaning it closely tracked Bitcoin's financial performance. And really, you know, there were all of these new layer 1s and layer 2s, but there wasn't that much differentiation. With the advent of DeFi and its subsequent explosion, the advent of NFTs and their subsequent explosion, I think what we're now starting to see is a lot of specificity coming to blockchains, depending on the method of consensus that your blockchain uses and the computational requirements and the technical specifications, right? Your blockchain protocol is going to be optimized or suitable for very different use cases. And so what we're starting to see is more and more specificity, which is where Stacks has really started to differentiate itself. And I think that specificity has also resulted in new things becoming possible. So if we look at what's happened with NFTs specifically, right? At the start of this year, we were seeing maybe $1 million of volume a week max in NFT trading. Last week alone, we saw over $400 million of NFT trading activity. Of that, the bulk was on the Ethereum network, about 75%, but there was also a lot of NFT activity on other networks. The Stacks network, in fact, had close to $2 million of NFT trading activity over the last 2 weeks. So what's been really interesting to observe, and we can talk a little bit more about the why of NFTs, is this activity which started on one chain and was really focused on just a few specific legacy NFTs like punks and apes that were very specific and sort of community driven, have now evolved into a lot of different types of content. What's been really cool to see is the emergence of generative NFTs like the Loop project, the N project, and others, as well as experimentation with the creation of NFTs and the burning of NFTs and how those two fit together, which is something that Pac is working on with his project Lost Poets and Ash. And then also the ability to represent physical items or claims on physical items as an NFT, and to be able to redeem those NFTs for physical items, as we've seen with Uniswap's Unisocks, for example. And then there's another project that issued sacks that you can redeem for hacky sacks. And I think there will be countless more examples. As the Stacks community, we should come up with what our Stacks swag NFT will be that you can redeem for some cool gear. But I think, again, what we're starting to see is people experimenting with this primitive of what a non-fungible token could be. And it's not just in art and in culture. Really what it is, I think right now is community, right? When I talk about NFTs, a lot of times I talk about flex and identity, but I think NFTs are a really cool way for people who are part of an ecosystem to build camaraderie, to share, right, a common sort of aesthetic. We see a lot of people changing their PFPs, their profile pictures to a punk or some other NFT. And so I think what's been really exciting to see is this really starting as a community-led movement, it really being a way for people to demonstrate what community, what tribe they belong to. And that is now, you know, bleeding into many new sort of areas for innovation and experimentation that go far beyond just DeFi and NFTs. There are new platforms emerging that are social clubs for people who own specific NFTs, that have DAOs that invest together. And there are just, I think, so many different permutations of where this could go. So that's been exciting to observe. And just the last item I'll add from a macro perspective, a lot of people criticize NFTs. They're like, well, I can just right click and save. I just want to quickly point out, like, we're not in a crypto bubble. We're in a wealth bubble overall. All of the money that's in existence, all of the dollars, pardon, that are in existence right now, of those dollars, over 40% have been printed in the last 18 months. So we're not in a crypto bubble. We're not in a stock bubble. We are in a money bubble. We're in a wealth bubble. Now, over 1%, right, there are 10,000 punks, there are 8,888 pudgy penguins, and there are 100 rocks. So I think this idea of scarcity, right, which we all understand digital scarcity because of Bitcoin, but the idea of digital scarcity can be extended into all of these different vectors. And again, some people want to buy Rolexes and yachts and planes. Other people who are digital natives are, you know, may want to buy these assets that mean something to people in our specific metaverse. And so I think it's this really cool new social behavior emerging, and this really interesting cultural behavior that's emerging. That's a really exciting opportunity for all of us, again, to express, you know, our tribal belonging to the Stacks community, but also to showcase the creativity of people in this community. And I see the penguin chatter. The penguin chatter is going off to the right. Penguins, apes, don't care. Choose your favorite tribe. Like, pick your favorite NFT. I love all NFTs equally, so no fighting.
Well, everyone, well, if you follow Meltem on Twitter, you'll definitely know that she owns a rock, which is, you know, the very it thing to own. But, you know, I think there are still a lot of people who are skeptical of owning a JPEG. Okay, maybe it presents that status. Maybe they don't care about that. But I think what we talked about a little bit was that maybe there's more to NFTs than meets the eye, especially around what the possibility will be with an NFT, which is a non-fungible token. So that means it's a unique sort of piece that you own, that maybe it can do other things. So I wanted to hear a little bit around, you know, we've seen this in the Stacks ecosystem, even people experimenting with an NFT representing value or representing stacking rewards. So what is your take on NFTs moving beyond just sort of the toy of tribes and JPEGs into something that's maybe more, you know, in line with what other people think of when they think of very valuable things?
Absolutely. I think that's precisely it, right? What we're doing, what feels like a toy right now, is actually a very powerful exploration of what a financial asset is. The issue we've always had historically is when you try to translate something from the physical domain into the digital domain, you need a centralized intermediary, right, to keep track of the physical thing. So people have tried in the past, right, when security tokens were a thing, people were trying to tokenize wine or cars or existing pieces of art. And that's really hard to do because there's a physical thing somewhere that someone has to keep track of. What's really cool with having things that are digitally native, right, and are digitally represented and don't have materiality is they enable the tracking and tracing of these things without an intermediary. And culture has always had value, right? One thing I always like to say is culture is currency. With NFTs, we are turning internet culture into a viable currency. You can fractionalize a meme and turn it into currency. You can fractionalize an LP position on a DEX, right? You can make that an NFT and allow it to become tradable, and whoever owns that NFT can claim that liquidity position. You can turn different financial assets into non-fungible tokens, enable them to be fractionalized, bundled in different ways. You can enable people who own valuable NFTs or valuable cultural capital to use it as collateral, right? There's some projects I've spoken to who are looking to enable people to use NFTs as collateral in different transactions. And so I think it's, again, really interesting because our concept of value, right, has historically been constrained to what the traditional financial system will accept as value. That's why Black markets have always existed. I grew up as a gamer, so I was hanging out on IRC chat and trading assets with people. But there's never really been a recognition of digital assets in the broader financial community outside of assets that are issued by financial institutions or central banks. And now for the first time, we have communities creating financial assets, trading them peer-to-peer on decentralized, censorship-resistant protocols that are backed by the security of the Bitcoin network. Like, that is the most fire thing that I can possibly imagine. And people are doing things that I can't even imagine, right? Every day I read something new and it blows my mind. So I think it's really cool that we now have these primitives that enable people to do all sorts of crazy things. And again, I would just encourage everyone to be open-minded, to experiment. The beautiful thing about Stacks is fees are low, so you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to trade your JPEGs, and your JPEGs don't have to be expensive. One goal I have is every month, I want to get 5 new people into NFTs. And I don't care what network they buy their NFT on, but if we all collectively, how many people are on this call? 319 people. If every month 319 people get 5 new people into NFTs, that means every month 15,000. That means by the end of this year, collectively, we'll have brought close to 250,000 people into the NFT ecosystem. Because we need to onboard not one person, we need to onboard the next 1 million people, and then the next 100 million, and then the next 1 billion people. So I'm super excited.
I take up the challenge. I will join you in this. Let's get more people into NFTs. I do own some Stacks punks, I will admit. So that's great.
I'm jealous. I don't have one yet. I'm gonna have to go sweep the floor for Stacks punks.
Oh yeah, it's getting pretty competitive out there, especially with the female ones. They're not as popular. So if you want one that looks like you, it's a competitive market out there. Well, we just have a few minutes left, so I just wanted to ask one more thing. It's just, kind of like, what are you excited about in the Stacks ecosystem? Obviously, you've been involved for a really long time. So what keeps you here? What's sort of the appeal, or what are the projects that you, are seeing?
Yeah, so I think just taking a step back, Stacks for me has always been really exciting and interesting because Bitcoin to me represents our society's memory, right? Memory is money. Money is society's form of memory. And money has historically solved an information problem, right? And it's really an information problem we're trying to solve. Bitcoin came around and has solved that problem in a really elegant way. And now what we're trying to do is figure out, okay, we've built this amazing new thing, Bitcoin, that is a new type of data architecture that also has no centralized timekeeper, right? In so many ways, Bitcoin is just such a incredible breakthrough, mathematically, philosophically, so many different levels. And what I love about Stacks is the fact that we can bring new types of extensibility to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I spend a lot of time in the Lightning ecosystem. I spend a lot of time in the Stacks ecosystem. I also engage with other crypto communities. I'm not a maximalist, as they say, I'm a shitcoin minimalist, as they say. But again, there's a lot of things happening in different ecosystems. But what makes Stacks so unique is we can leverage the security and the settlement finality of this amazing network called Bitcoin. And that is so incredibly powerful, because I do believe from a censorship resistance perspective, from a security perspective, Bitcoin is truly unparalleled. And so for me, what's been exciting to see is people are finally starting to build things that interact with Bitcoin via stacks. Clarity, I think, has been an amazing next step for the Stacks ecosystem. And I think, again, like, we're still at this very early phase. Like, we're getting our first DEXs, we're getting our first lending and borrowing protocols, just those early primitives that we're starting to see emerging. It's going to take time. I know people want everything to happen and they want it to happen right now, but like we saw with Miami Coin, right? Miami Coin has delivered close to $4 million of value to the Miami City Treasury since its launch. Like, that's really powerful. And again, as people continue to build things in the Stacks ecosystem, they're continuing to uncover really unique and specific ways in which stacking and clarity and other sort of unique features of Stacks can bring new types of opportunities, not only to individuals, but to enterprises, to cities, maybe to nation states. And so it's exciting to me. That's why I've stayed here. Again, I think the next year is going to be really massive one for the Stacks ecosystem, because people are finally going to be able to like do a lot more with their stacks and on the network. So I'm excited. And I'm also like overwhelmed, because I feel like I can't keep track of the whole ecosystem. I screenshotted the map that Trevor showed earlier, and I'm going to pass it to our investment associate, and we're going to make sure that we're tracking all of those companies, because I think there were like 10 that I saw that I'd never even heard of. So
yeah, well, we've got some really exciting companies that everyone here will get to see today. I know that they're waiting in the wings. So just one last question: where can people find you or follow you or learn more about what CoinShares does?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have tips, recommendations for things you want to see the foundation do, also feel free to reach out to me. I am a part of the foundation board and really excited to be on that with Brittany and a few other folks. But my Twitter at melt_dem. DMs are open. I've probably already spoken to some of you. Feel free to reach out anytime. Pitch me, show me what you're working on, show your favorite Stacks NFTs so I can sweep the floor. And yeah, just generally always happy to chat. I try to respond to everyone who sends me something. And yeah, that's it. Easy.
Awesome. Well, it's been such a pleasure. Yeah, I feel like you're up like 24 hours. I like you're always tweeting or something. So thank you so much for joining us.
Like, Max under my eyes. It's okay.
So thank you so much for having us, Trevor. Also check out stacks.org. That's for the foundation if you're interested in the grant. We'd love to hear more ideas and be supportive. So now I'll hand it back over to Trevor and team to kick off our great accelerator companies. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Brittany and Meltem. That was such an interesting conversation. You can follow our guest speakers here on Twitter at BR_TTNY for Brittany and Melt_dem for Meltem. And a brief disclaimer, I'm told I need to just show this because this is we are in the crypto industry. And so the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to bring up the startups. We're going in alphabetical order. And so we're going to start with our first company to kick things off, BlockSurvey. Wilson. All right, take it away.
Hi, I'm Wilson, founder of BlockSurvey. Google Forms, Typeform, SurveyMonkey are great, except they're not private and not secure. Millions of customers have lost customer records from survey platforms of today. Companies like Forbes, Nike, Uber has lost customer records from survey platforms. In 2018, Typeform lost 10 million customer records. Few months ago, ClearVoice Surveys lost 70 million customer records. And this isn't stopping. A million surveys are getting created every day, and bulk of them are not secure at all. And they don't comply to the data privacy and the governance laws of today. For every breach that is happening in this space, people and businesses are losing privacy, money, and reputation. Imagine you are a crypto native company and collecting data through surveys, and think about it losing all your customers' records and how embarrassing that would be. According to Gartner research, people really care about privacy. It used to be only 10% in 2020, but it is going to be 65% in a year in few months. Users are waking up and not sharing data as casually as before. If you are collecting data through privacy invasive tools, you are not going to get the data at all. This is the big problem in surveys, but we have the solution. Introducing BlockSurvey, an end-to-end encrypted forms and survey tool, which helps you to collect sensitive data. We are like Signal for surveys. For the first time ever, people and businesses are going to collect and share data privately, securely. So how does this all work? With BlockSurvey, you get a decentralized identity and a private storage, which is accessible only to you, not anyone, not even BlockSurvey. At the heart of it, it's privacy and security, but BlockSurvey is feature rich. You can create good looking forms like what you're seeing right now. In 1 year, we bootstrapped to 100+ paying customers. Brave Browser, Omdia Network, Internet Freedom Foundation are our users. Your Story featured BlockSurvey as one of the top 6 startups to watch in the crypto and blockchain space in India. Our users simply love us, and we are rated highly across all our review platforms. And today we are ready to scale. Our go-to-market strategy is to focus on a privacy niche where surveys are untapped, where we see a 50 million annual recurring opportunity. Our go-to customer segments are in crypto and blockchain, healthcare, and human resources. Our business model is a simple SaaS-based subscription. Enterprise plan starts at $250 per month, and personal plans starts at $10 per month. Overall, there is $1 billion market opportunity before us. The survey market size is expected to be at $13 billion by 2026, growing at 16% CAGR. To put that into perspective, today, SurveyMonkey and Qualtrics does about $1 billion in annual recurring revenue. With people actively looking for privacy-focused solutions in this space, BlockSurvey is uniquely positioned to take the majority of this market. Survey is just an entry point. This is not all. The data exchange platform of today will be the key platform for identity and data management in the Web3 world. Let me explain how do we do that. With BlockSurvey, we will empower users to own their identity and data using a single decentralized wallet. Imagine using that, you will be able to complete forms and surveys in one click. Imagine using that, you will be able to see who has access to your data. Imagine you will have the ability to revoke permissions on your data. Also, companies can save millions. Using BlockSurvey, you will be able to onboard your users and other businesses in a least frictional way using sign up with BlockSurvey. We are a team committed, passionate, and who have over decades of experience. We have helped organizations like Fidelity, Wells Fargo, and Zoho in building their enterprise apps as well as SaaS applications. If you believe data privacy and data ownership is the key to our future, come talk to us. Help us in securing the next million surveys. Help us in redefining how data is collected and shared by millions of people. This is Wilson. This is BlockSurvey. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilson from BlockSurvey. Next up, we have bReal. Take it away, Ali.
Thank you, Trevor. Hi, I'm Ali. I'm the co-founder of bReal. It's a platform for making NFTs for real assets. Think of us as like Stripe for NFTs. So far, NFTs have primarily been about virtual assets, art, music, animation, games. But we think that the true potential of NFTs is in tokenizing real assets. Your home, your car registry, your marriage certificates, your academic diplomas, even your COVID vaccination certificate. Any document which requires proof of ownership, verification, and authentication can be converted into a token. In all of these products, the middle person who ensures trust ends up charging a lot of fees and should be disrupted. Our target market is real estate, which is a $280 trillion market. 77% of global wealth is in real estate. And we think blockchain can transform it by allowing digital and efficient transactions, fractionalized ownership, and the ability to claim your property on metaverse. Imagine you'll be able to claim back your home on Google Maps. And also Meltem mentioned that you'll be able to use these assets as collateral for digital loans. The demand for a platform is so huge that we are getting inbound requests from some of the largest real estate owners around the world. In the UK, we have signed up Camden Market, the iconic $5 billion portfolio, which is the third most visited place in the UK. In Germany, we have CalRock Partner as the launch partner. And we are in talks with Adler, which is the largest real estate company in Europe. Our product is live, and our first use case was NFTs for academic diplomas, which solves the problem of fake degrees, which is a massive problem. Governments of India, Mexico, and Brazil are already doing pilot projects in this. Our launch market was in Pakistan, where this is a huge social issue. In 2010, the government was about to be dissolved because of fake degrees. And last year, there was a tragic plane crash, after which they found out that 30% of the pilots had fake degrees. And the reason for this problem is simple, that all of these records are saved as paper. So all you need is the basic Photoshop skills to fabricate it. We solved that by minting them as NFTs. Our platform has 3 modules. For the students, it's a wallet where they store all their degrees so that they never lose it. I have lost my Oxford degree, so I know it's very valuable. For universities, it's a way of record keeping. And for the employer, there's an API through which they can validate the credentials of the people they hire. And it's the same platform which we are now scaling up to real estate. Our team has experience in fintech, business, and finance. I was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford, and then I was a CFO of SafeCharge, a payment processing company which got acquired for $1 billion. My colleague Madhya has over 15 years of experience in finance, and Mahmood is a serial entrepreneur who's also the board member of YPO, Young Presidents Organization in the MENA region. We are also the co-founder of K-Trade, which is the #1 investment app in Pakistan, backed by some of the leading global venture funds. bReal is our push into digital assets. And on the back of our work, we are getting immense response from the regulators. I'm helping the Pakistani government make the regulation for opening up the market to crypto. I'm very excited about it because Pakistan is a country of 220 million people. And according to a recent report by Chain Analysis, it's the 3rd largest market for crypto. Our competition is primarily paper. Most of these assets are still recorded as on analog. So there's an opportunity of jumping directly into Web 3.0, something which we did see with mobile phones in emerging markets. There are a few platforms which are trying to do this on Ethereum, but we think that assets like real estate are generational assets, which people want to pass on to their families. So they need to be recorded on a platform such as Bitcoin, which can claim to have that longevity. We are live with the academic wallet. In October, we are scaling it up with 2 partners, universities who will mint 10,000 degrees. And in December, we are launching with our pilot partner with real estate. And I look forward to talking to you in the breakout rooms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali from bReal. Next up, we have Eggschain. Take it away, Wei.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Wei Ascala, and I am the CEO of Eggschain. The mission of our company is to preserve the hopes of life. More and more people are choosing to delay childbirth to later in life. In the United States alone, we have seen over 22% growth in the freezing of eggs on a year-on-year basis. And we have seen over 10% growth in IVF. Infertility is a widespread and global issue. In the United States, 1 in 8 couples are infertile. And looking worldwide, 15% of the world's population is infertile. The current process is high touch and low tech, which can be prone to human errors. Also, it's time consuming and inefficient. Additionally, it produces centralized records that can be lost or become inaccessible in times of needs. And this actually happens. 4 months ago, the New York Times reported on the Brown University IVF clinic lawsuit, where the lab lost a couple's records of their embryos, only to find it 18 years later. Such record loss and mix-ups can result in millions of dollars in lawsuit settlements, clinics being shut down, and catastrophic trauma to the families and physicians involved. I'm very happy to introduce Eggschain, the patented digital inventory tracking system for the labs, an end-to-end solution for clinics and labs. We're ready to modernize over 200,000 labs in the United States. Our system has already been developed and we're ready to deploy. But we're in this accelerator because we also wanted to solve the issue of having centralized records. Blockchain is the best solution that allows all key players to have access to the immutable records, such as the doctor, the clinic, the customers they serve, or the patients. And we chose Bitcoin and Stacks because by definition, our system has worked well for decades to come, because your biospecimen may be frozen and stored for decades. Introducing babies on the blockchain. We decided to patent our bio-tracking and matching system on the blockchain, but we did not stop there. We went ahead and patented all biospecimen tracking using any blockchain. In May of 2021, we received an exclusive patent granted to us by the United States Patent and Trademark Office that covers the tracking and matching of sperm, eggs, embryos, DNA, RNA, nucleic acid, tissues, organs, genome, stem cell, blood, using any public chain, private chain, or a combination of any public chains and private chains. Our system produces an auditable trail of records, helps with dispute resolution, and help prevent mistakes. When it comes to the most precious assets in life, even one mistake is too many. Our platform can be applied to adjacent industries as well for provenance tracking. And we have already been approached by some of the key industry players. In addition to the one patent that I just mentioned to you, we have 6 more patents pending, ranging from hardware, male fertility to female fertility, which are currently on our product roadmap or on our future product roadmap. We view this as a defense strategy against bigger players who may be thinking of entering into our growing space. Our business model in the B2B revenue stream is a classic SaaS model. We charge a $1,500 per month per clinic recurring fee and up to $30,000 per clinic setup fee. This opportunity is big. In the United States alone, we're looking at a total addressable market of $8 billion and a serviceable addressable market of $3.1 billion, starting with physicians' labs as our first market. The global market is even bigger. We have an excellent team. I have over 15 years of experience running P&L of up to $300 million in the United States at companies such as Procter & Gamble, Kraft Foods, and Valvoline. And I have a computer science degree from the University of Texas at Austin. Dr. Ken Drury is our Chief Scientific Officer, who has over 20 years of experience running high complexity labs all over the United States. And he holds a PhD in molecular embryology. Mr. Stanley Adiputra is our VP of Engineering. He and I met at the UT Austin undergrad computer science curriculum but he stayed in the software industry, rising through the ranks of USAA, eBay, and Mercer. Additionally, we have a wide array of important investors and advisors. They're critical to our success, mission critical. This is because they have a diverse background, experience, and vast skill set in areas such as reproductive medicine, scientific research, hospital administration, embryology, cryogenic preservation, software, as well as Wall Street finance. We would love to work with all of you. Together, we will preserve the hopes of life, protect life's most precious assets. My name is Wei Escalo, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wei from Eggschain. Next up, we have HireVibes. Take it away, Sean.
Thanks, Trevor. Hi, everybody. My name is Sean, co-founder of HireVibes, the decentralized recruiting army. The #1 challenge for growing businesses is hiring top talent. Building and retaining the right team is so often the difference between success and failure. Recruiting is hard, and using recruitment agencies is very expensive. On average, it costs $20,000 and takes 35 days to hire someone through an agency. Research shows that referrals have the best return on investment for employers. Referred employees have higher productivity and longer tenures versus all other types of hires. Companies are currently trying to do their own crowdsourcing with referral fees and bounties to reduce cost and to get more quality inbound referrals. But crowdsourcing doesn't work in a centralized fashion, because when someone makes a referral, how do they know that they're going to get paid? Recruiters today need to sign a contract with the company to enforce it, follow up with the candidate to make sure they've been placed, and if there is an issue, then they have to go through a whole lot of recourse. This makes the whole process unscalable and inefficient. Crowdsourcing fails in a centralized system, but it succeeds if it's done in a decentralized way, and we've solved it with HireVibes. Smart contracts execute transactions when certain triggers are met. By using smart contracts to process the hiring fee, not only do we fix the lack of transparency, we can automate and scale the process. Sharing a portion of the referral fee with the hired candidate when they get placed automatically triggers the release of funds to the individual recruiter. In this way, HireVibes gives companies an army of recruiters for a fraction of the cost. If we take a recent example of one HireVibes user who generated 15 hires in 3 months because of how open and scalable this all was, these 15 hires would have cost $300K with a centralized recruiting agency. Guess how much it costs with HireVibes? $44K. This is a savings of $256K and is 7x cheaper than the alternative. And it's scalable for the recruiters. So everybody wins. On HireVibes, companies set the recruiting fees that they want to pay. And the benefit is that a portion goes back to the candidate, the community, and to a charity every time a hire is made. There are hundreds of jobs live on HireVibes right now. We've made it super easy to post a job in seconds, set a referral reward, and manage applicants all within our app. We also have companies and communities paying us to embed their own branded jobs board onto their website via a like client, which incorporates the HireVibes referral engine. Companies also get their own talent database that they can access for years to come. We secure this sensitive data for the client, removing compliance and liability overheads. These communities are our secret and viral growth strategy. Our plugin job board serves these communities whilst bringing more jobs and more candidates to the HireVibes network. Using the Stacks blockchain, HireVibes will become the first decentralized talent database, whereby talent controls access to their resumes. Talent will be able to monetize access to their data by charging micropayments to recruiters who are searching for suitable candidates. This changes the game and returns power back to the users. And by the way, look at all these communities, 15,000 token holders in our community. We make monthly recurring revenue from our job board subscription model. When our freelance marketplace is live, we'll have an automated revenue stream that we can scale rapidly. Since January, we've onboarded our first SaaS customers and we've tripled the number of open jobs listed on the platform. Our rewards have also tripled since January. HireVibes users have earned over 78K to date, with 11K going to charity. This charity component creates a positive user experience for the candidate, as well as amplifying each employer brand. The recruiting software market is our Trojan horse in the metaverse. A job is not a position you hold, rather it's a task that you do. As people become more independent and work continues to rise to Bitcoin. Our co-founder, Daniel, was a top biller for 2 global recruitment agencies, as well as a recruiter at Amazon, and has intimate knowledge of how this industry works. We built a strong team of passionate co-founders who are motivated to disrupt the recruiting industry whilst creating positive change. We've been bootstrapped, we're profitable, and our distribution channels are established. Let's scale HireVibes across the world.
Take it away, Ala.
Hi, I'm Ala Koretsky, CEO at Layer, and we have built a platform for the world's leading creatives to manage and grow their NFT businesses at scale. NFTs are the headline of 2021, and we are just entering the realm of possibilities for this new ecosystem that's growing faster and faster and appealing to more and more new users who have already begun to shape this new era. We see this moment in time nearing the early internet days of the 90s or the social media revolution of the 2000s. NFTs empower creators and take branded content distribution and monetization to the next level. Content creators are turning into brands, and advertising models are flipping on their heads. Creators can use their existing IPs and benefit from this new economy directly. They can turn customers into loyal fans by issuing NFTs that people can collect, sell, and trade to build brand loyalty, past conversations, past sales. This opportunity is huge in front of us, but current technology is providing some major pains that we're hearing over and over again. Just in the past 60 days, we received requests from over 60 creatives with 0 marketing spend. And recently we're getting 3 to 4 requests every day. And the numbers are continuing to grow up. As we speak to them, we understand that the issues are the same. They know they need to get into the space, but are struggling to understand their options, struggling to launch, and struggling to manage their NFT operations at scale. Sure, there are other marketplaces that can do the job, but we've tested them all and we know the problems. Minting NFTs is complicated and expensive. Checkout is in crypto, not USD, which is complicated for the average customer to interact with. Profile pages are not customizable and you're stuck in their ecosystem. Currently, the process is long and complicated. On average, takes 3 to 6 days to mint. First, you have to get your ETH, then you have to connect your wallet, you have to choose a specific marketplace, pay the high fees to mint, and pay the high fees to sell. With Layer, we simplify the whole process to just 30 seconds. Plus, it's free to mint, you get a personalized storefront, and you can pay with credit card. Layer is focused on making it simple to mint and sell NFTs at scale. With our right-click to mint function, makes it super easy, even your grandmother can mint. Mobile-friendly and shareable storefronts that you can share with your existing non-crypto audience. You can check out with a debit card or credit card, no crypto wallet necessary. A simple royalty wizard tool makes royalty distribution for all product collaborators easy. Batch minting to scale your business. And finally, NFTs on Bitcoin. As we approach launch date, we have agreed to sign on 15 creators and agencies that we identified as having strong IP and large social following. We intend to create a storefront marketplace where creators and brands collaborate on NFT projects with the following monetization structure. Market is changing dramatically day by day with the sales in the millions for a single project, and those numbers are climbing by the minute. We do know that OpenSea is on track to make 4 billion by the end of this year, but we also know that it's only used by innovators and early adapters. Layer is poised to come in at a time where early adapters are looking for a platform for mass adoption. We are a team of passionate, hardworking entrepreneurs that have moved mountains with their dedication and ability to learn, adapt, and grow. And with over 20 years of experience of product development, technology, we have built companies from start to acquisition. Our roadmap for the next year is aggressive, but with the speed at which we've been moving so far, I'm confident that Layer will be your first step in NFT minting on Bitcoin. I'm also proud to announce, as a woman founder in crypto, that Layer will be launching its project on December 10th called Satoshi, that aims to empower women around the world to start their own NFT businesses on Bitcoin. We will offer social storefronts and embedded NFTs for social sharing, then an API integration to mint NFTs at scale. We plan to be fully decentralized with IPFS by 2022. And stay tuned for our own Layer token in partnership with Alex. So come join us in the breakout room to change history. Thank you.
Thank you, Ala from Layer. Next up, we have Momento. Take it away, Julian.
Hello, everyone. Momento is a mobile direct-to-fan NFT platform. We're like Instagram, where every moment is an NFT. At Momento, we want everyone to be able to own the moments that matter. This is what the cover and first page of the Bitcoin magazine looked like in January 2014. Does anyone recognize the guy in the first picture on the left? Yep, that's Vitalik Buterin. And the guy on the right, that's me. I worked closely with Vitalik at the Bitcoin magazine to review and understand the entire landscape of blockchain and decentralized projects at the time. In early 2014, our research came together in a 6-page spread in the Bitcoin magazine where Vitalik unveiled Ethereum to the world. The most critical insight from my time at the Bitcoin magazine and advising on Ethereum was that the biggest opportunity in crypto was in moving established Web 2.0 companies into a decentralized Web 3.0 future. NFTs, smart contracts, and DeFi come together in Momento to create that future that we spent countless hours writing about. Creators want to own their content. Web 2.0 brought us connection and identity. Newer social media platforms have shown us the power of direct relationships through creator subscription models and gifting. Web 3.0 will create full ownership over creator content and will provide fans the access and utility they are looking for. We have the ability to disrupt the most successful Web 2.0 companies with a new business model where buying is the new like. Momento is a mobile platform where content is the new asset class that can be bought, sold, or staked directly from your mobile device. I'm proud to announce that we've just went live on Stacks mainnet today. On Momento, every piece of content is owned by the creators and their fans. Buying moments from your favorite celebrities and influencers will give you access to members-only live streams, VIP passes, event tickets, and collectibles. We're currently working with over 20 plus creators to help them create exclusive content for over 35 million of their fans. We're the preferred NFT partner of celebrity content of Dapper Labs and Interscope Records, and we're the first direct-to-fan NFT platform on Stacks. Our business model is to collect a 15% commission on all content sold from celebrity to fan and a 5% secondary market commission on fan-to-fan sales. Superfans on Momento receive a profit share from content creators through the Momento token, which allows them to simultaneously benefit from the growth at Momento and the popularity of their favorite creators. We have a robust roadmap over the next 2 years that will position us as the leader in Web 3.0. We're not just building a toolkit for crypto, we're building the home for ownership and utility on the blockchain. Our feature deployment is in phases to make sure that we're always listening and learning from our users as we scale. I'm a second-time venture-backed founder. I'm a lifetime voting member of the Bitcoin Foundation and a founding Ethereum advisor. We have a full team of engineers led by our co-founder and CTO, Sudesh, who bootstrapped and exited his last medtech startup, SleepLab. Sudesh also founded the Bitcoin Exchange API in 2014, an API that helps some of the early exchanges in the space, including Coinbase, to talk to each other. We put together a team of advisors that include Silicon Valley operators and executives from Interscope Records and WME, and additional other various marketing firms. We know how to get it right. The competition is largely focused on creator coins. Creator coins aren't new. They didn't work in 2013, in 2015, or in 2017, and they won't work now. Creator coins misalign incentives between creators and fans, and they add additional layers of friction to the fan-creator relationship. We focus on content. So creators can keep doing what they do best, and fans can focus on owning the moments that matter to them. If you're interested in the future of Web 3.0, join us. Our mission is to give the power back to creators. My name is Julian, and this is Momento. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian from Momento. Next up, we have Moonray. Take it away, Rodrigo.
Hey everyone, I'm Rodrigo, and I'm really excited to show you our new far future sci-fi action game called Moonray. Not only is this one of the craziest games that you're ever going to see, but we're bringing a new business model to Bitcoin that we think is going to change gaming forever. But first, let's look at what gaming looks like now. It's a lot like Hollywood. It's a juggernaut of an industry. They make a ton of money, but it takes a ton of money to make a game in a really long time. And this means that studios get risk averse and it's hits driven. They're stuck in a business model where they have to periodically sell a $60 product every few years. So franchises dominate and gamers see the same thing over and over and over. But we see that there is a new revolution on the way, and Axie Infinity is showing us how to do it. Even though it's an old school 2D game, what they have done that's so unique is they've flipped the business model on its head. So now gamers own their content. They have created a DeFi economy where you can breed these little creatures, and that is a unique NFT that the gamer owns and they can trade and sell. This has unlocked an enormous market. Their token has an over $4 billion market cap just on 1 million users, and they are closing in on almost $1 billion in monthly NFT trading volume. And that is absolutely insane. So what we're going to do is bring this new business model to the next generation of gaming with a AAA gaming experience in Moonray. We have created a far future surreal sci-fi universe, and we've done it not just because it looks amazing, but because this enables our algorithmic approach to asset generation. This means that we can do with 4 artists what a typical studio does with 40. We have been showing this around already and doing crowdfunding just based off the creative direction, and we know that gamers are hungry and looking for something new. And now I would love to show you what this actually looks like. Please keep in mind that this is the real game running in Unreal Engine now.
The High Priest has made himself an army with my element. Take back what is mine. Bring the element under my control, and I will make you king. Kill all who dare rebel against me. Do not fail me. I made you, and I can destroy you. Bring the element under my control, and I will make one who can. Go and destroy my enemies.
So as you can see, Moonray is a game that you can play now. It's a multiplayer action RPG. We're bringing this to the Stacks blockchain within months. We're super excited to bring this to Stacks, and we are working already with top tier NFT artists. They're doing procedural work. Like this image here is from an artist called MGXS, and we're working to bring him to Moonray, and we're going to create a whole alliance of NFT artists so that we can bring a new look to gaming. Our first NFT drop is coming within weeks, and we're going to be showcasing our algorithmic approach to asset generation. We are rolling out a full-scale tokenomic model with a monetary and a governance token, an in-game forge that's going to tie NFT creation to a Bitcoin block, which is going to really increase the uniqueness and rarity of everything that gamers do. And we're really excited to bring a multiplayer city to Moonray so that players can buy land and stake a claim in the Moonray universe. Our economy is going to be open. We're going to be doing curated NFT drops with top tier NFT artists, but we're also going to let users create their own and bring it into Moonray. We're going to open up our yeah.
Slide's not moving. I think you broke Zoom with that amazing video, man. So let's try to unshare, unshare and reshare and go back to the NFT drop slide.
All right.
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. So NFT drop, you get it. It's going to be awesome. We know gamers are looking for something really cool and new. We are rolling out our tokenomic model. We're going to have a monetary and a governance token, an in-game forge where players can create unique NFTs tied to a Bitcoin block. We're going to have land sales in a multiplayer city, and our economy is going to be open. We think that when gaming fully embraces blockchain, the market is going to be absolutely enormous. If you take a top-selling action game like Red Dead Redemption and you multiply that by the typical Axie spend per user per year, we think that the trading volume alone is going to be around $150 billion at least, and a 20% protocol revenue is reasonable, and we think that's what the industry is going to settle on. This creates a $30 billion a year total addressable market, and we are going to be one of the top games in that market. We're going to absolutely crush it, and that's why we are really excited to show Moonray to the world. After our NFT drop in a few weeks, we're going to be releasing Moonray as a single player campaign and then launching into a continuous development into a true MMO and rolling out our tokenomic model. We are a team all over the world. We're everywhere. We recruit from the game industry, but we also recruit top artists. That's why we have such unique and fresh ideas.
Thank you, Rodrigo from Moonray. All right, next up, we have Open Art Source. Take it away, Ilan.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ilan. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Open Art Source. I'm here to tell you about how we're solving some of the age-old problems plaguing the global art market. We're changing the art world for good. It's true that the art market is a closed boys club, where only the rich and famous get to play. Many companies before us have tried to crack this clique and weren't able to do so. The difference between us is that we're looking at it from a different angle. The 1% of artists and collectors have many companies and entities catering to their every whim. They don't need us, and we're not competing for their attention. We believe they will come to us anyway. The art market is a very long tail. There are thousands of websites that claim to sell art online, but they don't solve the market's fundamental problems. The market is still closed to unrepresented artists and retail investors. We are changing that. Enters Open Art Source. Open Art Source has addressed the art market problems from several important angles using today's most substantive technology: authentication, provenance, royalties for artists, market data layer. We'll go over each one of these in greater detail. Open Art Source has developed a technology that can verify that a piece of art is the same one that the artist created. The artist takes a picture of the artwork and uploads it, which lists the painting and creates an NFT. After the painting is sold and the collector receives it, he or she takes a picture of it and the AI engine verifies it's the same original painting. This process happens each time the painting changes hands. Since blockchain records are forever, provenance is secure. With each transaction, a painting's ownership record is lengthened and collectors can see how its value changes over time. Museums and galleries have long sought a reliable way to track provenance. Our solution is a game changer. We pay artists 5% royalty each time the work sells again on Open Art Source. Currently, it's the galleries and dealers who make the most money as an artist's work takes off. We think artists should have a lifetime stake in their work, just like musicians, authors, actors, and other creatives. We are creating a data layer for the art market, similar to the data layer of the stock market. When collectors and dealers have transparent, accurate data, they can make data-driven investment decisions. We're giving this data for free to anyone who uses the Open Art Source app. When Open Art Source comes out of beta, we will be opening up the market for retail investors, providing new opportunities for artists and collectors to transact in a safe, secure, and easy-to-use environment on their phones. The $65 billion art market will explode. It will no longer be dominated by insiders who have an incentive to keep the little guys out. Let's talk about millennials. Millennials are buying and selling art in even bigger numbers than Gen Xers and Boomers. But they're used to buying on the phones, and they don't want to go to galleries or dealer warehouses and pay 50% commission. They want art to be cheaper, easily accessible, shareable, and provably original. These are the main features of Open Art Source. And the rising generation is even more likely to buy on the phones. Gen Zers spend 8.5 hours a day online and are twice as much more likely to shop on mobile devices than millennials. The future is clear. We're creating an art marketplace that fits the future. We've already signed more than 2,000 artists who are waiting impatiently for us to launch the marketplace. They will bring their friends, families, fans, and collectors to the platform and will serve as a spearhead into the art market. None of our competitors do what we do. They're either NFT marketplaces for new digital art or places to sell physical art, but without AI verification, blockchain provenance, or any other similar innovations. We're using AI and blockchain to enable this new market. All of the NFTs you've heard about till today were for digital art because it's the low-hanging fruit on the blockchain. Dealing with physical art brings a slew of new challenges that other companies are either unable or unwilling to solve. We solve those problems. My co-founder, Cecil Pang, developed the AI engine that Open Outsource is using as part of his research project at Stanford. Before that, he was writing AI algorithms as the head of data science for Take-Two, the creator of Grand Theft Auto. Our team of experts have built apps for Cisco, HBO, HP, BMG Music, and many more. This group also wrote the AI engine, the mobile app, and the code to generate NFTs on the Stacks blockchain. In fact, the team is brilliant enough, the Chainlink and the Stacks Foundation gave us the largest ever grant to write an AI oracle and release the open outsource on GitHub. Now, every company, nonprofit, coder, and hobbyist will be able to run AI models against the blockchain. This will be the first, and at this time, only AI oracle. Even Ethereum doesn't have one. Interested in investing in disrupting technologies, solving art fraud once and forever? If you know others who are, please come talk to us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Elon from Open Art Source. Next up, we have Pravica. Take it away, Mohammed.
Hello, everyone. This is Mohammed Abdu, founder of Pravica. Pravica is a unified, secure digital communication suite that meets Web 3.0 standards and uses blockchain technology to empower user privacy and security. In the past 5 years, enterprises have witnessed some of the most serious data breaches ever, ranging from business email compromise attacks, which is a problem worth $26 billion of losses, as per the latest API public report, to the hacking of conferencing platforms and messaging apps. Every week, we hear stories emerging of security attacks crippling companies. The most popular messaging apps in the market are being fined for privacy violations, costing businesses millions of dollars in downtime, trade secrets, and customer confidence. Governments and regulators are taking notice and beginning to act. The US Congress released the Access Act bill to enforce data portability between platforms. And also, EU is pushing forwards with a similar Digital Markets Act. Web 2.0 that's based on client-server model architecture is the cause of the problem because it enables service providers to own and control your identity and monetize your data. Pravica is here to fix this huge problem and protect the most valuable asset in this century, your data. Pravica is reinventing digital communications by empowering organizations and individuals to create their own cryptographically sealed identities and store their own data without third-party retention. Tamper-proof identities keys are secured on the Bitcoin network, and users control their own storage without retention by Pravica or any other third party. Decentralization, blockchain technology, and the promise of self-sovereign identity put Pravica ahead of the game. Our users get back control and ownership of their identity and their data. A single decentralized identity replaces email addresses, phone numbers, and any usernames needed to send a text, email, or connect to a conference call. And always remember, not your keys, not your data. If you haven't seen it yet on the Apple Store, you will see that Pravica, in Apple's words, doesn't collect any data. I'm sure by now you see the crucial need for our solution. And in order to build a fully decentralized communication suite, it needs a large amount of investment for time and money. Pravica knows what it takes to secure your messages and protect your privacy. First, we are bringing you a truly encrypted messaging app, and soon a full communication suite. Despite all privacy violations and data security issues, we can't deny the fact that the market size of messaging apps on Web 2.2 is huge, worth almost $500 billion. On the other hand, the encrypted messaging industry is growing exponentially from $5 billion in 2020 and will double in 2022. It's expected to take over and swallow the Web 2.0 market with almost 4.3 billion users in the very near future. If your vision is to invest in the future of digital communication, which side you will take? What sets Pravica apart from competition are three main factors: the use of decentralized storage, the use of non-sovereign identity, and user-owned encryption keys. Our product is live and in beta testing, and guess what? We are already getting paid for it. 3 enterprises are using Pravica and paid $40,000. Our freemium customer base now exceeds 21,000 users across 110 countries. Our business model is based on 2 revenue streams. Our business model is based on 2 revenue streams: service monthly subscriptions and subscription for decentralized cloud storage. 3 years ago, this phrase inspired me to start Pravica and led us to where we are today. That's who we are at Pravica. We can't be evil. We are lucky to have true believers behind Pravica. Our team and our advisors are our biggest assets. Privacy is a fundamental human right, and we encourage investors that truly believe in stacks and Bitcoin to join us in our journey of protecting what you value most. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohammed from Pravica. Next up, we have Risidio. Take it away, Peter.
Hi, I'm Peter, co-founder and CEO of Risidio, the open marketplace for NFTs on Bitcoin. We've been building on Stacks since 2018. The most up-to-date data shows that OpenSea is on track to process 5 billion or more in NFT trading volume, which was up from 300 million in July. At this speed, we may see 25 billion in volume traded this year alone, 100 times more than last year. And NFTs are skyrocketing because they're not, in fact, just images. Instead, they're the digital world's version. We can and will. Every industry can and will use NFTs in the not-so-distant future. But as important as they are, they're only as secure as the blockchain they live on. Our market research shows that many in Bitcoin understand this. 80% of Bitcoin holders told us they prefer to buy Bitcoin-backed NFTs to buying Ethereum-backed NFTs. And with Bitcoin's market cap being much larger than Ethereum's, this makes for a substantial business opportunity for an open marketplace for NFTs on Bitcoin. Introducing Risidio, Bitcoin's first open NFT marketplace, launching next month. With Risidio, we're focusing on world-class user experience. When people use our products, whether desktop or mobile, they tell us they love the quick load times, as well as the smoothness and responsiveness of scrolling, navigation, and viewing of images. And because we're on Stacks, our users enjoy gas fees that are hundreds of times lower than what they're used to paying elsewhere. Ethereum tried to fix the gas problem with the London fork, but gas has only gotten worse since then. In addition to great UX and low gas fees, Risidio's other built-in feature is social responsibility. We picked Stacks because its unique consensus mechanism allows it to have Bitcoin level security without spending additional energy. In essence, recycling the energy that was already spent when mining Bitcoin. And we've also always believed in giving back. Interestingly, we found that it leads to charities wanting to collaborate with us. And this creates a virtuous circle that helps us engage with more influencers, more celebrities, more creators, and more customers. It is this emphasis on social responsibility that led us to partner with Cara Delevingne and other celebrities back in May in order to do a test run of NFTs on Bitcoin powered by Stacks. The campaign, called This Is Number One, was for artists who wanted their proceeds to go to the charities and causes of their choice. Yeah, not only was it very successful, with over 150 news outlets covering the story, the amazing part is that thanks to royalties enforced by smart contracts, the charities chosen by the artists will continue to receive donations with every resale of an NFT in perpetuity. And these resale royalties can be bigger than initial sales. Cara's NFT, for example, initially sold for 18,000 stacks, or about $25,000. Recently, it was resold to someone else for $400,000, and now it has a pending offer from yet another person for around $8 million. If this offer is accepted, the artist's royalties from these last two resales would be nearly $840,000, or 33 times as much as the initial sale price. And it's not just celebrity NFTs on the secondary market. One of the punks in the Stacks Punk collection just sold for $16,000, 1,000 times more than the original sale price. And this is happening even without an open marketplace existing on Stacks. Just imagine what will happen once we deploy. Well, you wouldn't be the only one trying to imagine it. We've been contacted by hundreds of creators waiting for Risidio to launch so they can mint and sell their collections. Artists such as John Dolson, world-renowned environmental artist from Australia, shown here on the right, using blue plastic waste from the Pacific Ocean. Together with our very own Benny Cage, one of our first African artists in residence. And we have education and onboarding campaigns for artists in every region of the world, ready to be rolled out as part of our launch program later this year. With NFTs skyrocketing and the majority of Bitcoiners preferring to buy NFTs on Bitcoin, we believe that in the short-term, foreseeable future, we'll be processing as much NFT volume as we can handle. We expect to process a few $100 million in volume through Q1 2022 and up to 30 billion in the year following. This should translate to revenues for Risidio of 10 million and 750 million respectively. To execute on this, we need a killer team. I myself have over 25 years of experience launching and leading high-tech companies in every major region of the world. With me are a core team of developers, designers, marketers, and operational people, speaking more than 20 languages with a diverse experience needed to lead this global movement. While Stacks doesn't need much gas to operate, we do. Ability to scale fast is paramount in order for us to capitalize on the incoming avalanche of NFT trading volume. My name is Peter. I'm looking forward to speaking to you in Risidio's breakout room afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter from Risidio. Next up, we have Shaderverse. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you, Trevor. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Gold, the co-founder of Shaderverse, and I want to start this presentation with a question. And this will be interactive, so please write your answer in the chat and send this message to everyone. Okay, so here's my question. Which NFT collection do you think is the most expensive to buy into? In other words, which collection has the highest floor price or the highest price of each individual item? And guess is, I see CryptoPunks. Okay, it's not the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's not CryptoPunks either. It's actually an NFT collection called Autoglyphs. Autoglyphs uses an algorithm to generate the art in the collection. And this is also known as generative art. If we look at a recent list of the top NFT collections, we see Autoglyphs at number 1, CryptoPunks at number 5, and Bored Ape Yacht Club at the bottom of this list at number 10. But there's something interesting about the other 7 on this list. They're all generative art NFT collections, and they're all from one platform, Artblocks. Artblocks has exploded, both in primary sales and in secondary sales. In fact, last month, Artblocks generated over $690 million. I want to take a minute to explain how the generative art in Artblocks works to show you the opportunity here. So each collection in Artblocks has hundreds of unique but similar NFTs. And in this top selling collection, there are 999 pieces. And the least expensive one just sold for 220 ETH, or around 800,000 US dollars. So this is pretty amazing. By using an algorithm, the creator 999x'd his one of one art. And if anybody wants to drop in the chat what 800,000 times 999 is, it's like roughly about $800 million. So I'll dive in and show you how this piece is generated. You can see that the features in the blue box on the left are each assigned a random value. And those values are fed into an algorithm to make this unique piece of art on the right. There's a problem though. In order to make a generative art collection on Artblocks, you need to write your algorithm in a niche JavaScript library called P5.js. What this means is that all of the generative art on Artblocks relies on artists learning to code in JavaScript. And this is an incredibly small pool of artists. In fact, it excludes millions of professional 3D artists working in AAA gaming and movie industries. And 3D artists may just be the biggest opportunity in the NFT space because their art can be used natively in the metaverse. So when we realize that no one is effectively targeting 3D artists, we set out to target them. By building a platform that integrates with the industry standard tools that 3D artists already know and love, we get access to a massive pool of talent and can bridge the gap for them to create beautiful and generative 3D art projects as NFTs. Not only that, but because it's 3D, the art we help them create can be used in Unreal Engine, giving it a real use case in the metaverse. And this is why we're building Shaderverse. We're making it possible for the world's most talented 3D artists to make generative art NFT collections without needing any coding experience. Shaderverse provides not only a software platform, but effectively, it opens up a massive portal into the world of generative NFTs for the best 3D artists in the world. And this is how our system works. First, we're giving 3D artists the tools to create the generative art directly inside of our Blender app. And for those of you who don't know about Blender, Blender is a popular open source 3D design software that's been downloaded a whopping 14 million times last year. So from right within Blender, the artists are able to visually design their generative art algorithm. They're programming, but there's no code. They can test different values for the features and generate a model based on their template using our API, again, all without any code. Once the artist is happy with the results, they can submit the project for review, then we'll announce the drop, and collectors will be able to mint the NFT and experience the 3D NFT on the web. And we're excited to bring generative art minting to the Bitcoin with the Stacks ecosystem. And that's not all. Since we're using open standards consisting of a REST API and the GLTF 3D file format, we're able to give creators and collectors the ability to import these NFTs into other platforms that support the open metaverse, like Unreal Engine. So let's take a look at the market again. Artblocks is doing amazing business, but they barely scratched the surface of 3D. If you do the math, you'll see that last month, Artblocks earned $24.5 million by taking 10% of the primary sales and 2.5% of the secondary sales in their collections. It's a model that the market is clearly willing to pay, so we're adopting it as well. You'll also notice that by using Blender as our underlying tech, we have access to a 70 times larger user base in Artblocks. And this user base is not only larger, but consists of incredibly talented 3D artists. We've put together a great team to take on this opportunity. In the past, my co-founder, Mikhail Ronan, and I have both built and sold companies. And most recently, I was an entrepreneur in residence at a research lab at NYU, where I spun out projects in 3D generative art, VR, and AR. And Mikhail recently licensed the computer vision technology from his startup to Giphy and Unity in an acquisition deal. In addition to work on our product, we've already built a community of tens of thousands of followers on social media and curated a network of hundreds of 3D artists. So now is a really interesting time. Generative art collections have already proven to create tremendous value for NFT collectors and for artists. But it's such early days that the most talented 3D artists in the world, the ones who we believe will create the foundational art of the metaverse, still haven't made their collections yet. Shaderverse will bridge the gap and let this group of exceptional creators make their metaverse-ready generative art. So if you want to be a part of bringing generative art to the metaverse and Web3 on Bitcoin, come talk to us in the breakout room.
Thank you, Mike from Shaderverse. Next up, we have Sigle. Take it away, Leo.
Thanks, Trevor. Hello, everyone. I am Leo, and I'm here to present you Sigle, a decentralized writing experience that allows you to write and earn Bitcoin. With Web 3.0, a future where every creator owns their content is inevitable. However, today, centralized platforms and their private algorithms can decide to limit your account at any time and take away your content, community, and revenue. Deplatforming and shadow banning are a regular occurrence. Take Kyle, for example, a fintech writer and crypto analyst. One day, his account got limited because he mentioned the word blockchain too many times. Moving to another centralized platform would mean leaving his content and community behind, and he would be at risk of the same thing happening again. Introducing Sigle Protocol. We offer a solution where you truly own your content and community. All your data is stored forever via smart contracts on the blockchain. This enables any developer to access their content via open APIs. Switching from one client to another does not mean losing access to your content. Each client can not only have their own unique content policy, but also their own monetization strategy. Any developer can leverage our protocol to integrate the latest and greatest DeFi products. We are developing the first open source client, providing the best writing experience and a beautiful UI. Our monetization model for writers is the most innovative and compelling on the market. Any reader can lock up Stacks tokens to support you and give you their Bitcoin yield without spending their principal. So they don't need to spend $10 per month. Reading is free by locking up Stacks and leveraging stacking rewards. Everyone wins. No matter how complex the technology, the delivery of a beautiful UI UX is crucial for adoption. Whether you are an individual or an organization, you will be able to rapidly growing. We will then target the general crypto community and bring our total of number of writers by 200K. The next phase for the product will be to release the custody solution, allowing everyone to onboard the platform with just an email and deposit money with a bank card. We have a freemium approach targeting both individuals and organizations. The paid plans will allow writers to have a newsletter they can monetize, as well as in-depth analytics to track the performance of their writing. The organization plan allows multiple users to manage their page. With just 3,000 paying writers, we will start to be profitable. Issuing a token that would benefit all those who interact with the protocol is a possibility in our long-term vision. There are other players, both in the centralized and decentralized world, but our combination of decentralization and unique ways to monetize the content is something that really makes us stand out from current solutions. Quentin, our chief of design, has worked for over 50 companies in the US. Archers, our CTO, is self-taught and was part of a team building the very first blockchain bank, Bitvala. And I was leading that team, and I've also developed open source tools that are used by the community on a daily basis. Together, we form a team of 3 very ambitious individuals who have worked for successful startups and very popular open source projects. So if you are interested in empowering writers and bringing decentralized writing to life, reach out to us via leo@sigle.io. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo from Sigle. And last but not least, we have Superfandom. Take it away, Hassan.
Hey guys, when I was growing up, I was fascinated by magic. And today, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite magicians, Penn and Teller. Penn recently dropped their NFTs on OpenSea. Their NFTs were these beautiful JPEGs. Now, Penn and Teller are the most exciting magicians in the world. Huge fan base. I knew these NFTs would sell like crazy, but instead they only made 12,000 bucks. Compare that to the influencer Gary Vee's NFT drop. He hired programmers to create NFTs with extra functionality, letting his super fans have direct experiences with him. He made $30 million, 3,000x more than Penn and Teller. But it's not just the money. Creators like Gary understand that NFTs are the pathway to your greatest fans. So you can use NFTs to give something more to them. And that grows your reputation and eventually influence. That's why Gary went the extra mile to hire programmers to create NFTs that could do all these crazy and cool things. The industry is now realizing this is the way to go. But the problem is, handling a team of programmers is tough. There has to be a simpler way to make NFTs like Gary Vee's in just a few clicks so that every creator in the world can use them to level up their influence and their brand. So we're building an app called Superfandom, where creators can easily launch NFTs that are programmed for exclusive access or experiences. These experiences can be both online or offline, from social media to in person. Here's how the app works. Imagine you're a fan of the show, The Office. You're browsing Superfandom. You see the NFT of Meredith from The Office, and it enables you to sing karaoke with her. Sounds fun. So you buy it, you press redeem. Meredith gets notified, her people contact you. After the experience has been delivered, both parties give a rating. Meanwhile, we verify the redemption on chain to prevent fraud. Later, you enter Meredith's community to banter about the fun you had. But if you didn't like the experience, we give you a refund. If you want to sell the NFT to someone else before using it, we provide a secondary market. In other words, we're building end-to-end ecosystem management for this idea. We're the open sea for fan engagement. Our mainnet launch is in mid-September with a roster of 15 plus creators and more than 30 million followers. And guess what? We have Meredith from The Office. We also have Lindsay Lohan. We have a K-pop idol. We have 2 Bollywood stars with millions of fans. We have Pakistani stars. We have a lot of social media stars, etc. So how are we going after the market? By targeting 2 growth opportunities. First, upcoming crypto markets like India and Pakistan, the Middle East, and South Korea. Fun fact, India and Pakistan are the fastest growing crypto markets of 2021. These are big, underserved regions, and we've already signed 8 creators from here with 16 million followers. The second growth opportunity is the underserved micro creator economy in North America. Micro creators are small, but they're 99% of all creators. Some of them will be the brightest stars of tomorrow. We have traction here too. We've signed 5 creators from this category with 3 million followers. So how big is the market? It lies at the intersection of the 100 billion plus creator economy and the 2 trillion plus crypto economy. And that intersection is growing as more creators become crypto natives and the walls between creators and fans continue to break down. So let's look at the competition in our space. Some of these companies are also using NFTs, but we're the only ones providing end-to-end experience NFT management. Next, we're the only ones providing refunds if the creator messes up. Moreover, we're the only ones with Bitcoin-backed NFTs, meaning when these NFTs blow up, we're in the middle of that tsunami. Last, we're the only ones who can use NFT stacking to give Bitcoin rewards. Our competition does not cater to most of these. Now about the team. There are 4 founders. I'm Hassan, the others are Sophie, Fahad, and Shabazz. We've shipped multiple products as a team with over 18 million users cumulatively spread across North America and Asia. That's who we are. Let's take a step back. The next wave will be all about NFT use cases, which can be many, but we're working on one of the most exciting ones. We're opening up a new way for all creators in the world to cultivate their super fandoms. Come join us and make it happen. See you in the breakout room.
Thank you so much, Hassan from Superfandom. And so we're going to move into the breakout rooms here, give you all a chance to meet one-on-one with our teams. And if you would like to schedule a follow-up meeting, please write down this link right now, bit.ly/meet-startups. I recommend booking now. They're filling up from what I'm hearing.